Hi, Eric Lanask here at ITEXPO in Miami Beach, Florida, and I'm talking with Fred Yentz, Fred from the ILS Technology. Sorry, Fred, thanks for joining me.
Oh, thank you.
You guys helped us kick off this event down in Miami with what looked to be a fantastic bunch of sessions.
Absolutely, we had our ILS Technology M2M workshop day on the eve, the day before your event, and I'll tell you, we had a tremendous turnout. We had people from Singapore, Japan, the UK, Latin America. So we had a worldwide audience. We filled the room, standing room only, for a full day, and ended on a great panel session with analysts from notable analysts in the industry.
Tell me a little bit about what the workshop entailed.
So well, first, ILS, we're an M2M application platform provider. So it was really all about letting people touch and feel what an M2M platform can do and the power behind that. So we actually had about 100 people come in and get training on our platform. They got to play with it, use it, they got to do real projects, and they got to move information from sensors right into back office systems. And the session was co-sponsored by Oracle and Core and a few others that were great, Data Remote and Contron and Options. So we had 5 great co-sponsors, but we moved stuff into an Oracle back office. So they went from sensor to CIO in the matter of a morning and really implemented true M2M applications.
So does the level of participation at that kind of event, is that reflective of the momentum in the M2M space?
Oh, it's unbelievable. I mean, I think, had we done this 2 years ago here, we would have had 8 or 10 people show up. Not because of a different crowd, but a different time. You really have to not be paying attention right now if you don't understand what the power of connectivity and the Internet of Things can bring you as a company. So we have all kinds of folks from the ecosystem, SIs, and end users that are all paying attention and want to learn more.
So I think you talk about the Internet of Things and the potential of the connections that you can make. I would think if you ask most people, they'll mention things like smart meters, maybe connected vehicles, things like that. But really, the potential of the market is so much more.
We have a great big diversity in our business. On the high end, we're in almost every 300 mil semiconductor fab in the world. These are very, very expensive factories and capital assets that build chips. Some of these tools are $100 million per tool. And some people own a lot of them, so you and I can have inexpensive camera memory and the like. But keeping them running is important, and that's a great example of actually a wired M2M environment. And all the way down to telematics or monitoring the performance of a fast food restaurant in terms of their use of French fry oil. So from semiconductor equipment manufacturing to manufacturing of French fries, that's a pretty big gap. Capital equipment, cost, use cases, and value.
But really what it's about is capturing information that's out there and translating it into something usable.
Yeah, if you can't, I have 3 value props for M2M. Make money, save money, or stay compliant. And if you can't do any of those, a connection is called cost. And no one's looking to add cost. So the whole objective really is, how do I transform my business with better, actionable, right-time data? Now, a lot of people talk about real-time, but really the business requires data at the right time. And if it's actionable, right-time data, there's going to be tremendous business value there.
What are the different things that go into not so much collecting the data, but once you've got the information, turning it into something that that can benefit your organization?
Okay. Well, what they learned today in the workshop, so we'll take it back to that, is we have 3 primary pieces to our solution. How do you catch the data at the end? So we have a driver library and intelligence at the edge that allow us to grab a bunch of data, process it, filter it, and turn it into actionable information that I'm going to send over the network. Now, we do that for a couple of reasons. The primary reason is we don't want to send a bunch of chatter and garbage over a network connection that costs us money, costs our customers money. So that's one piece. So that makes data into actionable information and events. It goes through the network, and we provision the network and we work with all the carriers. So there's a big piece in the middle, which is really about provisioning, security, audit. On the enterprise side, most of our customers, we're basically a B2B or a B2B2C kind of a company. Our business customers currently have a back office. They're running their business with SAP or Oracle or IBM or some Microsoft back office suites. We feed that data into those back offices natively. So there's no custom programming and glue required. So you can truly go from what we call, sensor to CIO in the matter of a few hours by configuring our platform. So we've made it a product, not a consulting services framework.
You and I were talking offline a little bit about, you were telling me about one example in the food service industry, and it got me thinking, is there any statistic or piece of equipment that can't be relevant to the M2M space? I mean, as long as it's got some sort of measurable quality, whether it's density or temperature or motion or what have you, seems like there's a potential impact.
The use cases are probably endless. Every day that I think I've seen the most unique implementation of monitoring something, the phone will ring tomorrow and someone will have yet another use case. So we also see organizations evolve. Maybe they start with a simple telematics app and they want to know vehicle location and the simple things. But as they learn a little bit more about the value of this new data, they will find different sense points, they'll find different things they want to collect and different ways to build business value.
Are there particular vertical markets where you're seeing more traction currently?
I think some of the early markets, like smart metering and the like, they're pretty compressed markets from a profitability perspective. But we are seeing a lot in energy, in demand response. We're seeing a lot in predictive maintenance and predictive maintenance analytics and kind of feeding the back engines of service organizations and connecting to things that maybe weren't connected before. We're seeing a lot in fleet and aftermarket fleet. Clearly, there's an enormous amount of activity, in the vehicle telematics from the
Sure.
OEMs. I mean, 6-7 years ago, there were only a few car types that actually had smart car, connected car technologies in them. Now I think almost every manufacturer of an automobile has at least an offering in a connected car space. That's a big change for a big industry.
So what's changed in the last couple of years to tear down some of those barriers to entry?
That's probably the most important question. Quite frankly, the wireless connection, just the ubiquitous nature of that and the availability of that and the affordability has really changed. The other thing that's happened is awareness. There's probably not a business owner or a business executive that doesn't understand the value of connected devices. They're getting bombarded by TV commercials, by what their competitors are doing. Connected cars is just an example that everybody sees, but you really have to not be listening, to not understand what's happening in terms of what's available in the market. And I think the third and maybe another very relevant thing and what we bring to the table is the tools to do this are becoming much more manageable and easy to use. So getting to an ROI quicker is certainly accomplished by getting to production quicker. Lowering the hurdle rate, making something easy to do will give you a better return quicker and then build on that. So pervasiveness, awareness, and better tools.
Well, and regarding the better tools, you hit on one of the things that's critical in any part of the communications technology space. It's just ease of use and ease of implementation. I want to wrap up on one maybe a little more fun topic, fun note. Yeah. You talked about almost every day you hear some new, interesting, unique use cases. Give me one of the interesting or more unique cases that you've had.
Actually, this is one I read about. We didn't do it. I think probably, I'm glad we didn't do it, but I saw something published in a magazine on mollusks. So basically clams and mussels, and they could understand the clarification or the cleanliness of water supply in certain reservoirs based on whether the mollusk was filtering or not filtering. So the sensor was actually the mollusk, and they had some sort of strain gauges on these things, and it was done really as a research project. But who would have thought that they could actually use a an animal as a sensor and understand their behavior to check on water quality. So, you know, there's a unique one every day.
Interesting. Well, I can't wait to catch up again and hear about the next very unique use case. Fred,
Absolutely.
thanks for joining us. We're happy to have ILS here with us.
All right, thank you.